But anyway, that should be, you know.
Good evening, everyone. First item, consider approving the minutes held from January 11th.
I make a motion, we approve those minutes.
Motion made, second by Dave, all in favor? Bob, you look very dapper tonight.
Thank you,
Next
Mike.
one up is Parks and Recreation.
And I have Eric Seekins.
Ella had given me a list the other day of questions that you guys put together, 7 questions, so I just felt where the questions were so specific, the best way for me to answer them was very specific. So I have a packet for everybody, detailed of what you asked for, hopefully what you asked for. And I know you've just seen it for the first time, so I thought that makes more sense to come tonight, let you guys digest this. And if you have any questions related to those 7, just give me a call, email, come see me, I come see you, whatever you want to do. And then just come tonight, if you had any additional thing that you wanted to ask or talk about, it would be a good opportunity. I know it's hard to sit there and read such a document when you just get it. I give you one out.
Yeah.
Questions?
I don't think we would gonna be sitting here reading this.
Right, I don't think so.
Right, that's, I just thought it was the most detailed way. to do it.
Or I won't.
Meaning what? Dress like that.
So Eric, do you want to stand up and just talk about this list with you guys?
It is their questions, so I think they're probably familiar with the questions. I just provided detailed answers to all their 7 questions.
So if anyone has any further questions, we can contact him and get a hold of him. So, how's that? Don?
Just to, it may be in here, but I guess the duties and responsibilities of a director's assistant or new programs that we've put on since the new staff member, we met her at what, a month or so ago, and many of us knew her or know her a little bit. But can you just give us a sense of what is her responsibility, what's her direction, any changes that you made since you brought on her? Because, you know, she's very capable, and what's the plan?
I think all of us that have followed sports in Oakland know Sophie Holmes and how important she was to us. And much like Ryan Susie, as a young I got to watch grow up, Sophie's the exact same thing. Sophie is a very quietly confident person. So when you see her being this under the radar person, she is very, very capable. She's, she's running a youth basketball program right now as a Miss Maine basketball finalist in the state championship. She didn't have any difficulty with that. She's got some great, and I do outline them in this document, Don. She's got some great ideas that she wants to throw out. Just like I did with Ryan, I encourage them to come up with new ideas if they have them, and let me figure out how to come up with the money to do and the resources to do. So she's got some new ideas that she wants to bring on that we've never done before. She wants to do a cornhole tournament, hopefully up the Overlook. Logistically, it might not happen there, so I'm just turning her loose on that. Anything that she wants to do that's new and innovative, different from what we do, I encourage him to do. So she's still figuring her way out, figuring her way around, starting to figure out who the players are in town and all that stuff. But Sophie is a very, very special, capable young lady, and she's gonna do just fine. And she's not as familiar with like the Fun in the Sun Up program like Ryan was, so she's gonna have to learn a lot on that. So I'm teaching as much about different things as I can that way. It'll really be her first summer with that program. So hopefully we can get back to a normal summer. Last summer was a very tough one from a staffing standpoint, from a, even when you get to other places, They didn't have staff either, so we really did well to manage as well as we did last summer. So we're definitely going to be relying on Sophie and her energy. 23, you know how 23 is. If anyone can remember 23, she can go. We're excited to have her.
The other question, which again, it may be in here, we're going to be asked in the next month and a half about programming and things of that kind. And just about every year, there's questions about the senior activities. Any insight as to what we added or not added, or how, we haven't really heard about the senior center. It's been some rocky roads for them.
Yeah.
From our viewpoint, we weren't part of the senior center per se, but we provide activities for the seniors. Anything additional that we're going to be doing, or any highlights of how we transitioned from where we were before the pandemic through the senior citizen center to where we're going?
I have a very detailed answer in that packet to that question right there, Don, but essentially, they're still trying, as far as I know, still trying to figure it out on their own and need the town's help. We've been up many times and done different things for them. They in turn have come and volunteered and helped some stuff. I do talk about that pretty specifically in that document I just gave you.
Can you talk about that too? Because the newspaper reporter actually called up for those questions, and they're gonna be reviewing this video. So tell us a little bit what's happening, so she has something like that.
What, meaning the activities we've been
Yeah,
on?
what's happening with them right now?
I believe they still seek to be independent. You're tipping off my answer because I said Ella might be a better person for this question than me about what's happening with the center. I know they want to be independent of the town. Still, I know they're having a hard time getting financial independence because I think they are trying to get their membership up. Their membership has been interrupted by COVID. They haven't built like they would have liked. But I see cars up there quite a bit. I think they're meeting Tuesdays and Wednesdays or something like that. And I do see a few cars up at the church. I talk about in the report, you guys should take a look at their Facebook thing. It talks about a lot of the different craft projects, art projects. They play cornhole. They're really trying to take independence of their own club.
Further questions?
Please just get a hold of me if there's anything you want to follow up on, but I did my very best to, if you guys had specific questions, I want to give you specific answers, and it's all contained in what I gave you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bring your better half tonight.
I got my crutch with me just in case
Your
I
better half.
take a header.
Hi, Jed. How are you? Nice to see you. Next one here is Dylan Clark from Transfer Station.
I also brought a packet, but it doesn't seem to be as thorough as Mr. Seekins was, so you're probably gonna have to ask me some questions here tonight.
We'll read yours.
Okay.
You need me to stay for support, then I'll do that.
I'm okay. I think I can handle that.
You good?
I think I'm good.
Boyd's not giving to the table. then.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Boy, it's not gonna be a help to me, I guess. I just have a few pretty much talking points there. If you have any questions on it, I'm more than willing to answer anything you
Go
got
ahead.
for me.
Why don't you go right down to this, Dylan, tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, so in the first one, it's a list of all the recyclable materials that we handle and how much our reimbursement was through the last 6 months. So I have it written down as OCC, which is just your corrugated cardboard. And then newspaper and magazine, which is one bale we put together. Mixed paper, which is all assorted papers, such as your, pretty much anything that comes out of your household. 1, 2, and 5 plastics, and then metal waste recycling, which would be just scrap metal and things of that sort. With our OCC, we produce 28.75 tons of material so far this year. And that's how much we've shipped out, not how much we've actually produced, at $115 a ton at current market value. Newspaper, we produced 6.35 ton at $52 per ton. Mixed paper is 8.65 at 3.75 a ton. Number one plastic, we produce 1.4 tons at $110 a ton. Number two plastic, 1.73 at $220 a ton. And number five plastic we produce 0.41 tons at $150 a ton. The total amount we brought in through recycling has been $9,745.28. Our transfer station fees, which is everything that's come across our scale, was $50,316. And then our stickers, we produced $637 for a total revenue of $60,698.44.
Dylan, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you were first.
I just wondered on that 50,000 transfer of fees, what is the most of that? Is it chairs and couches or other things?
It would
that-
be bulky material such as that, yes.
Yeah.
Be, anything from roofing down to your mattress and box spring.
Oh,
Are you seeing an increase or decrease in recycling or those fees? Is that way from previous years?
Right now, I'm seeing a significant increase from the first year I took over. The year I took over, we were averaging about 14% of a recycling rate, and last year into this year, I'm averaging about 21 to 22.
Is that because something that the crew out there is doing, or just you think people are just more conscious about recycling?
I think it's a combination of both. We try to have a very open conversation with the public about recycling, how beneficial it really is to the town. And I also just believe more people are willing to take that extra step.
So roughly $60,000 in 6 months.
That's correct.
And would you assume that that's going to probably be 120,000 for the year?
That would be a rough assumption.
And is that, you have a sense, you don't have to give us numbers, of where we were last year? Is it more than last year?
It would be more.
Considerably more?
It would be more. Last year was, I believe, 95,000. But we're also going into the slow months, so this tends to dampen how much we actually bring in.
So I just want to mention, Don, that transfer fees of $50,000, that's actually stuff that's going into our CDD landfill. That's not being recycled.
Right.
The recycling is actually $9,745.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be about $18,000 worth of recycling. Are we getting a sense? Is this stuff all coming from Oakland?
I believe so, because we've also had significant price increases on our material going into the
Are
landfill.
we doing anything to check that?
The best we can. Everybody that comes in has to have a sticker, or if they're a contractor, they have to have a version of their contract that says where their materials originating from.
Right, so shingles, we were seeing a huge increase in roofing shingles.
I understand that,
And
and
is that slowed down? Or we
Yes.
still see them?
we still see it, but not as frequent as it was a few years ago.
I was certainly concerned because it looked like every house in the town of Oakland was getting shingles.
Right.
So, and I have to believe that those shingles were coming in from other towns.
I believe they were, and that's why I implemented seeing the policy for seeing a written contract from where it was coming from.
Okay. And you guys are checking that.
Yes,
Have we ever gone and followed up?
I
To
have a
see-
few times.
Yep.
And every time I've done it, they've always been correct, and I believe I've done it about 5 times, and every time so far, they've been working there.
I followed shingles in from Waterville before, that's why I asked.
I do my best attempt. Sometimes I can't pull away from the transfer station though, so I do my best to,
You put down a 2012 John Deere.
yes.
What do you, is it not running right? Is it not working right? Is it?
It's just getting high in hours, and I believe it's coming on to potentially larger and reinvestments such as having to redo the motor or transmission, just because it's around the 15,000 hour mark, which is necessary for those things.
We start talking about this stuff when they're about 13,000, we're up to 15,000 now. We have put substantial money into it over the last couple of years, and so it's time.
Further questions? Seeing none, Dylan, thank you for your time tonight. We appreciate it. Nice job.
Do my best. I kind of love things, but I do my best not to.
Next thing up is Spirit of America.
So you have two suggestions that I've written down. They can come across my desk. I'm not going to name the names. First one, I'm working around town for a few years. On the flower committee. The second one, the longtime resident town of Oakland. Those are the two that I came up with. If anybody has another recommendation, certainly can put that on the list for consideration.
Are we supposed to have those somewhere?
No, this is the first time we've had this discussion, so if you want to, you haven't got a copy of this?
I don't see it.
Well, I can,
That makes it hard.
can I?
It's
can I-
really double
Can I
blind.
take a break? And,
Oh, just show us the name.
Yeah, just pass it around.
We don't need a copy.
Huh? Yeah.
Number, I gave you one the other day.
Yeah, I did. Well, what is that?
John, you're feeling better today. Feeling better.
You can pass that through.
That was my first. Yeah. There's plenty of that. All right, Chief Buckle.
Was he scheduled to do a report tonight too? You're supposed to say yes.
Next time.
Hi, buddy. He's next on the list. You might not always hit too close for it.
What I'm gonna do with you guys, is I'll email that out at the next council meeting. I'd like to have a name either suggested from your end or somebody chosen from your end. So I'll send out this list to you via email tomorrow. And unless you guys want to go and write down who you'd like to see from this list already.
Might wait.
Yeah, send it and let us think about it.
I saw that.
I thought you had a
And we can do more than one.
Yes, we can. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we don't have to eliminate anybody if we have a real strong feeling for the whole group.
Thank you. Next on the list is Mr. Boyd. This is the third time we're talking about trucks to you.
I
I hope you haven't purchased.
I
three
hope
trucks.
it's the last time, because I probably could have built it myself.
Boyd, how are you?
Doing all right. So, just a quick recap, obviously we did the bid, said total economy to go packing. Rebid it, but then we rebid it and got a decent number, but it was during that September when we were dealing with the overage from the year before. So we had them hold off. I've tried to reach out over the last 2 months to what was the low bidder. And they're just not calling me back anymore, so they had quoted like 39,000 for a full-size truck. And I think right now they're all getting list price right off the street for 50 plus. So I think they just don't have any interest. So what I'd like to do, I talked to Ellen about this. I'm tired of dealing with this, to be honest with you. I'd like to I think one of the last council meetings you guys said, and you said, just go out and get one. And so I'd like to do is just, I think you guys had quoted, said something up to $43,000, something like that. I'd step down to a mid-size truck just because of cost, because everything right now, everything on stickers anyway, is, upwards of 50 plus. So that's just, I don't think I need that much invested in the vehicle. So what I'd like to do with the council permission is go ahead and I've got some numbers, I've talked to Central Maine Motors, talked to Quirk. They're about $500 a piece list price. I'd just like to go in, Central Maine Motors right here, and they've got a truck coming in that I think will work well for me, and just go in and get it. So it's a 4-wheel drive. It's a Chevy Colorado, so it is a step down from the full size. It's got a V6, but from my standpoint, from the sewer standpoint, I don't haul big stuff, I'll haul a trailer occasionally, but I would have liked to have had a full-size truck, but honestly, the headache and run around I've had the last 3 years, 2 years, I think this will work just fine. So right now I have a 2-wheel drive Colorado that is like basically 3 inches off the ground. So this will be out a little bit. So at least during snowstorms, when the public works out doing the roads, a lot of times they can't get into me to plow in the yard until later on. So this gives me something so I can actually get in there without taking my personal vehicle.
What was the price on that one?
What's that?
What was the price?
So the midsize, like the Chevy Colorado, Quirk and Central Maine Motors are both about the same. They're about 38 too. And that's with a spray in headliner, 4-wheel drive. Also like to put some lights on and stuff, but it does have a tow package. So it's pretty much the same truck I was looking at before, just a 1 step down.
So did you actually ask them for a bid on this, or is this just going in and seeing them, this is what they?
Pretty much what I did is I got online, I checked all the inventory in the area, and I checked Works, I checked Charlie's, Connors, but I went through a bunch of them within a 50-mile radius, and they were all, within, $500 or so of each other for the same truck. So not all of them, obviously inventory is still low. We're looking for a white or a light gray. So those are kind of 2 things I was looking at. So
Currently, he's got that 1/4-ton truck, this 2-wheel drive. In the snow, it's useless. Just parked in his garage. He's using his own personal vehicle. And, we should have pulled the trigger on that pickup from O'Connor's, but we didn't. And now we're sitting here 2 years later, still spinning our wheels over it. You've got a copy of his budget, his fund equity. He has $260,000 in it, so there's certainly room enough to go and purchase a truck out of that.
I think we have another couple hundred or 160,000 checking. So we're upwards over 400,000 combined right now with the 2 accounts. So, yeah.
The truck that came into O'Connor's was just waiting for it. As soon as we said we were going to buy it, they grabbed it. We knew that was going to happen.
I make a motion, we authorize the town manager to purchase this truck.
Motion made.
I'd second it, and I think we went through all the motions that we were supposed to do. Certainly more than good faith effort, and I think we've beat this horse to death. And time to buy a truck.
Motion made, second by Bob. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one thought, Ella. Is this something that you would be contacting them? And they might, if this is just a standard internet price, they might,
Oh, it's gonna come down below this. I will.
we get it anyway, but if it's for the town.
We'll save some money on it.
Yeah, when I talked to Central Maine Motors about this, he said, well, I told him, I said, come to see you folks, and he said, well, you come in and we'll, obviously we'll be able to knock it down off this price. So my guess is, who knows how much, maybe 35,
Okay.
I'll make sure. And if they don't give me a number that I like, I'll work. It just works a little further away in Bangor, but okay. So
Call Charlie's.
I just looked on their inventory. I looked on their inventory, but I didn't call them, but I know they do a lot of business there as well, so.
Good, next item up is a PSAP.
You've got a copy of it. We were notified this weekend. Chief Coughlin actually advised me that he was talking with Waterville. They advised them that we're losing our PSAP provider, which is Somerset Communications. We received a certified letter on Monday, and this is a copy of that certified letter. I did call up Mike Smith, who's the director up there, and talk with him, find out what was going on Monday, and he said that, quite frankly, Kennebec County's giving them 50% of their business or workload up there with only 9% of their revenue. So financially, their commission has decided that it didn't work out, and so they are ending the service with all of Kennebec County, beginning July 1st. So we have until then to find another PSAP provider. Now, by law, our default PSAP provider is Maine State Police, but they're not taking on any business, so I don't know how that's gonna work out for us. We did talk with Chief Bonnie yesterday on the phone, and maybe it was Monday, I think it was Monday on the phone. And he's asking that we all just kind of collectively work together on it, but I don't know if that's gonna work out to our benefit. The reason for that is none of these people have an extra amount of wiggle room. If we go in there with a bunch of different towns, they're certainly not gonna be able to work with us. Maybe we can work our way in. So there's going to be more to follow on this. We're trying to get this thing resolved. This potentially is going to impact our budget. We had budgeted $10,100, which would have been the contract for the upcoming season. And after talking with Kelly and others, we decided to double that amount. So we're putting $20,200 for our services for this upcoming year, and that may not be enough. We don't know. So I don't know where this is going to go for us financially, but we did double it just in case. Hopefully that's going to be enough to cover it. But as I continue to learn more about this, I'll make sure that you are aware of it. And at this point in time, we're just kind of dead in the water.
If the default, meaning Department of Public Safety, doesn't take us,
I know. I don't know what that
there is
means.
no other option.
Yeah, I know.
Lincoln County,
Well,
these are
if
just-
somebody would go-
these are 911 calls that are gonna get transferred to Waterville.
This whole public service thing's a mess between EMS and everything else that's going along with it. It's a nightmare to deal with. So just one more chapter in the books. We'll have some answers for the next couple of weeks.
But this is the outfit that calls you guys, Dave, after they get a call from whoever answers the 911, right?
Somerset answers the 911s.
Okay.
They get transferred to Waterville Communications, which then dispatches.
Okay. All right. I knew there was a double step there somewhere. But
Yeah, it was, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or more, they consolidated all the 911 answering points. So there's only so many by law the state allows.
Right.
So Waterville lost their 911 answering at that time. Dave, you may know, is there 12, 13 of them?
I'm not sure the number. now.
Statewide. And
Not enough.
And so that's what, there's only 13 of them statewide. And they're all like Somerset, as far as they need more personnel, they need more people, and everybody's shorthanded. And like Ella said, the default would be the PSAP in your county. We're not even sure if they're ready for this onslaught of more towns coming to them all at once. It's going to be definitely some legwork that's going to have to be done in the next short period of time to figure it all out.
There are some southern Kennebec County towns that go with Lincoln.
Sure.
They're down there. I don't know if they're serviced this far up north or not.
If they have the capacity, the manpower to do it, it doesn't matter where they are, does it? Whether in Holton or Skowhegan or Lewiston.
We, in Augusta, we get dispatched, a lot of times the call is coming out of Holton. So it's just where that call is, that 911 calls get pushed to.
It's complicated. When they did this whole consolidation and they got rid of Kennebec, Waterville, I mean, we knew that was gonna be a catastrophe at some point. We're here now.
I think the town originally went with Somerset because of the cost savings versus like state police. That's why we're looking at a potential budget increase.
But what did you say about the state police aren't taking new?
Well, they're having the same issue with staffing as everybody else is, and they don't have the manpower to handle much more than what they're currently handling, if they can even handle what they're currently handling. So, you know, for all these towns that are now gonna be without a 911 service, you know, we're gonna be looking for a home. And if we all just kind of, everybody together, we might not find anybody. Maybe it's each man for themselves. You know,
These are the same people who want the state to take over the electric grid. But I
Ella, did Mike happen to say how many calls they were receiving out of Kennebec County?
The only thing Mike told me was 50% of his volume, workload volume was coming from Kennebec County. And we were only providing 9% of the revenue. Mathematically, it wasn't working.
No.
And they're short-handed. They can't find anybody, and they're currently paying their dispatch at $17.90 an hour. And their new wage starting July 1st, the budget passes, is going to be $20.47 an hour. So they're going up almost $3 an hour just to get people. So they're dealing with the same issues. Everybody else is doing.
Anything else?
That's all I have, gentlemen.
Dave, did you have anything tonight? Bob, did you have anything?
Nothing.
I'm all set.
I'm all set, Dave. No, they send them all to they send them all to Ella and then they process them from there. I'm not being rude. Back a while ago, instead of asking you what we do is if anyone has anything to say, is it goes through Ella and then it comes to us, so we hear name is recognized on it. I'm not being rude.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Motion made, second by Bob, all in favor.